We have a wonderful webinar for you today. This is the Tech2Tech webinar for understanding the Smart Document Camera 650. Ray, if you could advance the slide, please. Okay, I am your moderator today. I am James Lane. Today's presenter will be Mr. Raymond Nebrez. During the webinar, please note that all of your attendee microphones are muted. If you'd like to ask questions, please note that in the Zoom webinar interface, there is a Q&A button and a chat button at the bottom. Please use the Q&A button or the chat window to ask your questions. We will either answer questions during the flow of the presentation, or your questions may be held and answered at the end of the presentation during the Q&A period. Over to you, Raymond.
Good morning. Good morning. So in this Tech2Tech webinar, we'll provide an overview of the Smart Document Camera 650. This will include basic information, setting up and using the product. In addition, we will discuss best practices and some troubleshooting techniques that you'll find handy. We'll go through the following topics: the product overview, product details, setting up your document camera, connecting the document camera, best practices in troubleshooting your document camera, and Q&A. Now, product overview. The Smart Document Camera 650 is an easy-to-use 4K Ultra HD camera that captures live and images to the smartboard or smart notebook software or your desktop. This camera has a 5-year warranty and a 1-year battery warranty, plus, of course, Smart's support services. It comes with a remote control, which makes the capture, recording, and broadcasting of lessons simple. Teachers can control the zoom, autofocus brightness, and more from within the classroom. For connectivity, the camera is equipped with Wi-Fi, peer-to-peer, and Miracast. It's compatible with Windows 10, macOS computers, and smart board with iQ. It can also be wired directly to your smart interactive display, to your Mac and PC from anywhere in the classroom. It is fully UVC compliant with built-in microphone that can be used as a high-quality webcam with smart board displays. It is ideal for use with popular conferencing platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet. Product details. Now, the information listed here are the primary specifications of the document camera. Link to the complete list will be provided later. Now, the zoom for the 650 is at 230 times compared to the previous model's 12 times zoom level. Camera quality is at 13 megapixels. Frame rate at 60 compared to 30 of the previous model. Now, speaking about storage, so in order for you to take and save pictures, when, for example, you're using the camera as a standalone and it's connected to a smart display device, you need an external USB stick to save your captured images because the document camera has no internal storage. Battery life. Battery life is 2 hours, but the thing is the document camera is always connected to power and would only usually require movement from time to time without external power. So this value is sufficient enough. The SDC 650 has 2 modes, the camera and the pass-through mode, and it does not have any playback mode. There are 3 available ways to connect wirelessly to the document camera. So we have P2P, which is peer-to-peer, which is the easiest and the recommended method to use. Then we also have Wi-Fi and Miracast. It is slightly heavier than its predecessor at 5.7 pounds. Now, looking inside the package. So we have the SDC 650 document camera. We have an AC/DC power adapter. It comes with a smart supplied USB-A to USB Mini B cable, power cord, 2-pack AAA batteries, a remote control, 2 Wi-Fi dongles. One is already inserted in the document camera and one is for your computer. An anti-glare sheet, quick connect guide, smart product information card. Also, it is good to note the Microsoft adapter kit with part number 1018864, as seen here, is optional and it's sold separately. Now, before we continue, please take note of the following important links. These links may come in handy in the future. Now, what you're looking at right now is the Smart Document Camera 650 support page. This is the main support page for your document camera. You'll find links to the downloads page. In it, you'll find file downloads for Windows, Mac OS, Chrome browser extension, Android document camera software. Software applications that you will need when you're using the document camera. In the documents page, you'll find the document camera user guide, illustrated installation instructions, spec sheets, and the service parts diagram of the unit. The trainings and videos page. So we have courses intended for installation professionals and technical experts. It will show you how to safely install, configure, and troubleshoot smart education and business products. And lastly, the knowledge base page. We have articles that you can reference whenever you are encountering specific issues with your document camera. And if you're looking for the troubleshooting page, this site will be coming up soon. Now, this is an example of the Smart Document Camera software for Windows and Mac OS. The user manual is found in the Documents page if you want to know more about it. Now, this is the Smart Document Camera 650 Software Lite application. You need the Chrome browser extension to use this application in Chrome. It is similar in function to the Smart Document Camera software for Windows and Mac OS. This is an example of the Smart Document Camera software for Android. It is installed by using an APK file that will work on Smart GX models. And lastly, this is the Android app for smart displays with IQ. It will work for all smart displays with IQ. Setting up your document camera. Now, in this section, we will discuss the software requirements, important buttons on the control panel, battery information, the SDC 650 modes, and connection methods. Basically, what you need to know the first time you install the document camera and use it on a daily basis. These are the software that you may need when you connect your document camera to your computer. So we have the Smart Notebook version 20.1 or later, and Smart Ink and Smart Product Drivers will be installed automatically in the process. The Smart Document Camera software, as discussed earlier, you will have Windows, Mac OS, and Android versions of this application. And we have the Smart Document Camera 650 Software Lite. So if you plan to use the Chrome browser to connect to your document camera, this is the application that you need to use. And again, please note, user manuals are found in the document section of the document camera support page. Now, you need to pay attention to the following buttons and status lights when setting up your document camera. First, we have the power button. A solid red means that it's on standby. So just imagine that your camera is sleeping or it's in sleep mode. A blinking red status means that it is powering up or shutting down. So the powering up and shutting down process usually take 3 to 5 seconds. While a solid green means the document camera is turned on and ready for operation. The Wi-Fi LED status light. When Wi-Fi is enabled, this indicator is lit. A solid blue means that it's ready to receive Wi-Fi communication. A blinking blue means it's currently communicating with a PC or smart display. And a no light means Wi-Fi is off. The autofocus button. This button automatically adjusts the camera lens to focus correctly. So alternately, if you're using the camera application, you can set the autofocus off and you can just adjust the focus manually. The Wi-Fi button. This turns on or off the Wi-Fi feature. The lamp button. This turns on or off the lamp. Turning the lamp on assists the lens to focus fast, especially in poorly lit places. The camera PC button. This switches the video signal between camera and computer pass-through or PC mode. And lastly, the info button. So when you press the info button, it gives access to the on-screen display, or we call it the OSD menu of the camera. Now this table will show the different battery states. Please note that the battery LED light indicator are found on the document camera side, as shown in my picture. So a solid green means the document camera is charged. The number of LED lights will determine the battery's charge level. When the LED indicator is red, this means the battery is almost out of charge. A flashing red means the battery is out of power. And a solid orange means the battery needs servicing. So in cases like this, the whole unit needs to go back for repair. Now, understanding the smart document camera modes. There are two types of modes that you can view live images from the document camera. These are the camera and PC, or we call it the pass-through mode. Each mode enables you to do different things and requires specific connection to a display, to a projector, or a computer. Now in camera mode, you can view images from your camera. You can do this if you're using Smart Notebook or the Smart Document Camera software over USB. Camera mode also works over Wi-Fi, using the Document Camera app on your computer or smart display with IQ. And also using HDMI out connection or Miracast over to a display device. Now in computer pass-through mode or PC mode, the PC mode enables you to view your computer's display on a connected smart display or monitor, or be it a projector. The document camera acts as a pass-through device between the computer and the projector or the display. To use this mode, connect an HDMI cable to your computer and then to the HDMI in port of the document camera. Then connect a second HDMI cable from the document camera's HDMI out port to a display or projector. So after the types of modes, let's discuss the SDC 650 connection methods. First, we have the wired connection. So we use this method if we will be using the document camera with a computer or a smartboard interactive display with IQ. Under the wired connection, we have the USB out and the HDMI out connection methods. The USB out method is used if you have Smart Notebook or Smart Document Camera application running on your computer. For HDMI out method, we use this method to connect directly to a display that has an HDMI in port. Then we have wireless connection. We use this method to connect to a Wi-Fi enabled device, like your smartboard interactive display. Under wireless connection, we have the peer-to-peer, Wi-Fi, and Miracast connection methods. For peer-to-peer or P2P, use the supplied Wi-Fi dongle to create a peer-to-peer connection between the document camera and your computer. This direct connection enables you to quickly connect to the document camera without having to enter a password to connect to the school's network. And actually, this is the recommended connection that we suggest. Now, if you're connecting through Wi-Fi, the document camera has its own Wi-Fi, which you can connect directly from your computer. Upon connection, the document camera will be configured to join the local Wi-Fi. And lastly, using Miracast, you can cast live images quickly to a Miracast-enabled device. Connecting the document camera. So in this section, we'll be discussing the different processes the document camera goes through during actual connection. We will go into each type of connection in detail. So as discussed earlier, we have 5 ways to connect your document camera. So we have the P2P, the Wi-Fi, the USB, the HDMI out, the Miracast. Let's now go through them. The P2P connection method or process. To connect, turn on your document camera and make sure the Wi-Fi indicator light is enabled. Since you'll be connecting via P2P or peer-to-peer, the camera should be in wireless AP mode. AP is access point mode. Connect the smart supplied Wi-Fi dongle to your computer's USB port. Then check your computer's network connections. Make sure Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi 2 are active. So Wi-Fi is your local network Wi-Fi adapter connected to the local SSID, and Wi-Fi 2 is the Wi-Fi dongle. This will connect to the DocCam Wi-Fi network once you launch the document camera software. You can also check your computer's available SSID list. Make sure the Wi-Fi 2 list has the document camera's SSID information. So if you're looking at my picture over here, the document camera is labeled SDC 650, then it's followed by the MAC address. Now, launch the document camera software and proceed to connect by clicking the Connect Your Doc Camera button. Now, if you have connected successfully to the document camera, you will see this message. You can add a passcode for additional security. Then finally, this is what you'll see on your document camera software dashboard. The document camera shown here is connected via Wi-Fi Direct, meaning you're using the dongle to connect to the document camera. So you can now proceed to view live images from the document camera by clicking the play button. Now, the following process will show you how your computer connects to the document camera without using the smart supplied Wi-Fi dongle. So let's consider that the document camera is still in AP mode, from the previous P2P connection that we did. So to begin, turn on your document camera and make sure the Wi-Fi indicator light is enabled. The camera's SSID must be searchable. This is to ensure immediate camera software connection. Once you launch the smart document camera software, the software will seek out or discover any available document cameras in range. When you see your camera, click the Connect Your Doc Camera button to connect. And please note, after a successful connection, local Wi-Fi credentials will be asked. This will configure the local Wi-Fi connection. Again, you can put an optional passcode for added security. You will use this passcode when you connect to the camera again over Wi-Fi. So after putting the passcode, the camera system will change from AP or access point mode to Wi-Fi mode. So once done, the document camera will use the local Wi-Fi. Then you can now connect to the document camera. So after a successful transition, the document camera is now ready to accept local connections. Now, using the USB method.
Raymond, before you jump into using the USB method, we do have a question in the chat window. An anonymous attendee has asked, what is the recommended option for wireless connectivity directly to the Smart IQ panel? Would that be the P2P method using the dongle, or would that be the Wi-Fi method that's recommended?
So if you use the P2P, so the thing is, you have you have your computer and you're trying to connect to the document camera. So what you're saying is, the other way around. Is it the document camera connecting to the smart panel? Is that?
Yeah. So if there's no computer involved, just the doc cam and the Smart IQ display, perhaps the document camera Android application running on the Smart IQ system,
Okay.
which wireless method is recommended?
So if you're using the Smart IQ system to connect to the document camera, the best way, the reliable way is first, you can use the USB, but if you're thinking of wireless connection, you can use the Wi-Fi method because you cannot use the Wi-Fi dongle on the Smart IQ. Smart Wi-Fi dongles can only be used on computers. So from Smart IQ to document camera, we use Wi-Fi or direct USB connection. If you want to have camera control. Did that answer your question?
Anonymous attendee, if that did not answer your question, please let us know. Otherwise, please continue, Ray.
Okay, thank you. So using the USB method, use the included USB cable to connect the USB port on the document camera to a USB port on the computer. Make sure that the Wi-Fi indicator light on the document camera is off. So if you're using USB, you need to turn off the Wi-Fi feature. So if you're using the Smart Notebook software, you have to click the Insert Smart Document Camera Viewer to view live images from the connected document camera. And if you're using the Smart Document Camera software, use the play button to view live images from the document camera. So when you're using the software, the USB status icon, this USB status icon that you're seeing right now signifies that you're connected via USB cable. Now, using the HDMI method to connect. This method only displays the document camera's live image on the connected display. Now, to set up, connect an HDMI cable to the HDMI port of the document camera and then locate the HDMI in port on the display device. Now, if you want to record videos or save captures of live images, you need to attach a USB drive to the document camera to save those pictures. Now, this is how you connect your document camera to a Miracast capable device display. Please note, you can only connect to a display device that supports Miracast. And also, you will need an extra monitor when you configure this the first time. Now, to connect your document camera, press the info button on the control panel or remote control. Use the arrow button to navigate and select Miracast. Then navigate back to select Miracast setup. Then select your remote display from the list. Usually, if you have multiple Miracast enabled device in the room, this list will grow. So after selecting the remote display, you'll get live images on the remote display screen. Best practices in troubleshooting your document camera. So let's discuss some of the best practices when using the document camera. Number one, use your camera in a bright or dry and dust-free environment. Always use the sync button to discover document cameras in range. So a large and busy network may take some time to refresh or discover. And so during this process, maybe a little patience is required. Remove all cables connected to the document camera, such as HDMI, USB, and leave the power cable connected. Manually power cycle the document camera and relaunch the document camera software. This is if you're having connection issues. So turn off temporarily any antivirus protection, local PC firewall, and security connection manager, like, for example, Cisco AnyConnect, when testing, and if you want to resolve issues, just to isolate the issue from even coming from the antivirus or the local PC firewall. Then consider reinstalling your software if needed to isolate any issues that may be coming from the smart notebook software or from the smart document camera software. Or you can also consider returning to factory default if everything fails. Another way is when isolating issues, use a standalone or independent personal computer if possible. So this is just to isolate the computer from group policy applications or group policies being applied on the computer. So you also need to use an admin account when troubleshooting software-related issues. Always check for any physical damages. And lastly, always document your testing. Let's now troubleshoot the document camera. Under general issues, a common example will be dark and blurry images captured by your camera are displayed on screen. So ensure that there's enough light in the room. You can turn on your document camera's lamp. And also, while the overhead lamp is lit, press the autofocus on the control panel or remote control to adjust the picture to have more detail on the picture. You can also adjust the brightness and contrast levels manually in the document camera's OSD menu. You can use the control panel or remote control. You can also change the current preview mode setting of the document camera through the OSD menu to a different mode to adjust the view and to make it clearer. And again, check the camera lens for any physical defects, be it dust covering the lens or major scratches that can affect capturing the image clearly. Another issue is your document camera is making a noise after turning on. So the thing is, when this happens, the lens is adjusting to the room lighting. The autofocus feature is working, thus creating the noise that you hear. So what you need to do is to use the autofocus button to assist in the focusing. That's number one. And ensure that there's enough light in the room, or turn on the overhead light of your document camera to help shorten the focusing process if it takes too long. So once you have the lamp on, you can also press the autofocus button to make the focusing fast. Resolving software-related issues. An example will be your smart notebook or your smart document camera software doesn't recognize your camera. Ensure you have the following checked. USB cable is properly connected between the computer and the document camera. Check the USB cable and computer's USB port. Make sure that they are working properly. Ensure that your document camera and your computer's USB port are free from any physical defects. The Wi-Fi indicator light must be off. So since you're using USB connection, we don't need the Wi-Fi feature to be enabled. Ensure that your smart notebook software or your smart document camera software is up to date. You can also use another known working computer and software to test the connection. And you can power cycle or reboot your document camera. Now, resolving recording issues. An example will be the document camera is unable to save pictures and record videos. So if you are connected to a display device via HDMI out, you need to insert a USB drive to save your captured images and recorded videos. Make sure that your USB drive is working before inserting, that it follows the FAT32 format with a maximum size of 32 GB as directed in the spec sheet. Now, resolving connection issues. An example will be your document camera software this time is not detecting any document cameras over P2P or peer-to-peer connection. So there were several attempts to refresh the connection, but still there's no camera. So ensure that you check the following. First, your document camera software and drivers should be up to date. You can get the latest updates from our support webpage. Your Wi-Fi indicator light should be turned on. Since you're using Wi-Fi, this should be on. Your smart document camera wireless connection is set to AP or access point wireless mode. Use the control panel to set this mode if needed. The Wi-Fi dongle should be properly inserted into the computer and enabled. Now you can use the control panel network connection settings to view if your Wi-Fi dongle is active or not. The document camera's SSID must appear in the Wi-Fi 2 list of available connections. Having this will tell you that the document camera's Wi-Fi is active or it's being broadcasted. So if you don't see this, you can power cycle the document camera. And again, temporary measures, disable your local computer's firewall or antivirus or VPN connection when troubleshooting or testing. If all troubleshooting still fails, relaunch your document camera software, reboot or power cycle your camera, and make sure that you remove any HDMI or USB cables connected to the camera when you're doing this. And you can also perform a factory reset by using the remote control or pressing the reset button on the remote control. You will know that the camera is resetting if you see the power button flash red. Now, in this scenario, your camera software is not detecting any document camera in range over Wi-Fi. So again, even after multiple attempts to refresh the connection, still there's no camera in the software. So ensure that you have the following going. Your camera software is up to date. Your Wi-Fi indicator light on the camera control panel is on or in solid blue status. You're using the same Wi-Fi network for your computer and your document camera. You can check the OSD menu's About page to verify the camera's IP address. Your document camera wireless mode settings should be set to Wi-Fi. Again, always be ready to disable temporarily your computer's firewall, antivirus, VPN connection to isolate issues coming from these sources. And lastly, if all else fails, again, relaunch your camera application, reboot your document camera, and disconnect all HDMI USB cables, then restart the connection process. Now, another scenario is if you have your computer connected by a straight USB cable, but you're not seeing live images on the document camera software. So make sure the Wi-Fi indicator light on the control panel is off this time. If not, you can press the Wi-Fi button to turn it off. Get a known working USB cable and replace the existing cable to isolate the issue. Turn off your camera and relaunch your smart notebook or smart document camera software. And again, inspect your equipment for any broken parts like broken USB port or on the camera side or on the PC side. Now, here's another connection issue. You're being asked to put a password when connecting via P2P, or when you're trying to use a Wi-Fi dongle, a certain message that will pop up asking you for a certain password. So if you don't know the password, open the network connections and get the Wi-Fi dongle's status information. Click the wireless properties and you should have access to the security key or password information. Now, this concludes our presentation. The floor now is open for questions.
Thank you very much, Raymond. I don't see any other questions in the Q&A or chat windows here in Zoom. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody.